and welcome to a brand new episode of an Earful podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. You're just stuck with the one Matt today, not the three. This episode is with our lovely person that goes by the name of Si Martin. You may know him from being the drummer of Junior, or you may know him from being the drummer of Nova Row More, but we've spoke to Si at 2000 Trees to talk about his charity Heads Up of the Waves, which has a really important cause. It was really good to speak to Si. Obviously we'd already spoken to him previously when we discussed Junior way back, one of the early episodes, so it's always nice to catch up with him. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Clap.
Thank you. Thank you for that standing ovation.
And that's because we're joined by Si of Heads Above the Waves. Hello.
Hiya.
So what's new? How's it going? Have you enjoyed... I know. So what's new? It's a podcast. Yeah, how have you enjoyed 2000 Trees so far? Obviously, you've got a tent here for Heads Above the Waves.
Yeah, do you know what? I've said it all weekend, and it's not just paying lip service, but 2000 Trees genuinely is like the best festival in the UK.
Yeah.
Like it's... whether it's like the community or the fact that like we are even seeing people coming by like pulling kids along in those like trolley things, you know, like it feels wholesome, and it just feels like a really nice. I just said before we start recording, it's lovely to know people, and this kind of feels like everyone I know congregates here.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a real people I haven't seen for years, people I haven't seen for the rest of the year otherwise. Yeah, it's really cool. And from like a Heads Above the Waves perspective as well, basically our entire demographic is here.
Yeah,
Like, this is exactly
true,
the people
yeah.
that we want to be speaking to, exactly the people that we want to be sharing the message to, and hopefully the sort of people that it would resonate with and that would feel like a connection to what we're trying to do, you know?
Yeah,
so
100%.
yeah, this feels like a really, I love trees, man. It's the best.
We were saying that last year. It's like the whole feel of the festival. It's very just like it's very tight knit. It's like a whole community based thing, and like I said, it seems like very like it's family orientated as well.
Homely,
so
innit?
it's just
To a sense,
inclusive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's inclusive to like everything. Yeah. So it's like a download festival. Don't get me wrong. That's brilliant. It feels like a big family there. But like 2000 Trees, it's just like a little small like community. Like 'cause, you know what I mean? It's nowhere near as like as big, but you've got just as much like things to do and things
Yeah,
to see
legit.
and
Well,
all
and
that sort of
the
stuff.
other really cool thing I always think about, particularly alternative festivals, and Download is a great example as well, where like actually you look at all these people here in their hometowns, in their communities, they're maybe on like the fringe, they're maybe like the alternative people. There might not be very many people like them, or who like the same sort of music as them, or even just like have tattoos and wear black all the time.
Yeah, they might feel like the minority. Like,
Yeah, and it's really easy to feel like, I'm kind of
An outsider.
in this alone,
yeah.
and I'm a bit of an outsider, an outcast, whatever. So then when you come here, it's almost like a reminder of like, oh, yeah, it's just everyone's all come together, and I'm not actually the weird person here. I'm actually, I fit in.
Yeah.
The flip side to that is I'm seeing loads of people with hand tattoos when we do the festivals and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's really normal. I should definitely get my hands tattooed. And then I'm like, it is definitely a job stop. You go back to the real world and you're like, oh yeah, no, that is job stop territory. That is, yeah. So don't get hand tattoos, or maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I would say like you can literally walk around any festival, especially like Download as well, 2000 Trees. You could be dressed in whatever you want. You could be dressed in a spaceman suit. You could be crowd surfing bollock naked. I don't. What?
No,
I mean, I've seen it
ahead.
before, and no one bats an eyelid.
Matty's crazy.
Yeah, you've
plans
seen
for the
seen
festival.
it before.
I've seen stuff at festivals, but it's like people are just like, all right.
Well, and as well, like believe it or not, I'm actually quite an introverted fella. I'm actually quite a shy guy, but there's something about being at festivals where I used to work in a certain cosmetics bath bomb shop as well, where like the whole gimmick is that you're just speaking to loads of people over and over and over again, and so you almost like flick a switch and you're kind of like, I'm just gonna go and speak to you, and it's like that at festivals, I think, as well. Like, I don't think I'd ever actually just like shout at someone, "That's a really cool T-shirt," as someone walks past in the street normally.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it feels like it's okay, and people are a lot more open and a lot more friendly, and just willing to engage in conversation with strangers. Which is really, like festivals are just great, and the other really nice thing is, however it comes out, even if it is crowd surfing naked, it's
That's not me, by the way. I don't crowd surf naked, just for the record.
It is. It's like it's people just letting their hair down, and actually like
Exactly.
I feel like there's probably been, and
Yeah.
you probably saw it even more so as like the pandemic was happening, like the first one back. I'm gutted we missed trees last year, but like there was probably this real kind of pent up energy of like people just needing to emote, I guess, and you know, sing your heart out to a band, hang out with your best friends, just chat for hours. You know what I mean? It's I think it's a
form
real
of catharticism for a lot of people.
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. Yeah, great word. Cathartic moment for everybody. Yeah, so I think festivals are wicked, very important. Yeah, sick.
Nice.
And then that even more so, having a stall here lets you like have that big impact on it straight away.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like 2000 Trees has been so like welcoming and accommodating, because we've been here for years and years and years. We've done this so many times.
Right.
They've always helped us out. They've always just been like, whatever you need, we'll try our best to make it happen. So, you know, huge thank you to all the team at Trees who make it happen as well. And like it's awesome to wander around and see. Actually, we're literally sat opposite a place called Metal for Good, who they do fundraising to then fund like particularly music-based projects in the communities that are actually going to help people. And like Trees are just so supportive of that. It's so cool. And then for us, like I mentioned before, this is our demographic right here. These are our people.
Yeah.
And so we're here to sell t-shirts, but we're also here to like have those
Spread the
conversations.
message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And just introduce the idea that you're not alone, like we've already kind of mentioned in terms of, you know, community and where you fit in, but also in terms of if you've struggled in the past, if you're struggling right now, it's okay, and there are places that you can go for help and support, and we're one of those places. And if you want to just come and chat on our stall and just talk about what's on your mind, that's okay. Which is also what we're trying to do with our shop in Cardiff as well. Plug. But again, like I never want to be like a super hard sell, like you got to buy this t-shirt, buy it now, buy it. It's just about like actually being a place that's like a safe space, and that's become a bit of maybe a cliche term almost, but like it's a place where you can come and just exist and be yourself, and it's okay to talk about whatever you're going through. And we've had some wicked conversations already, and I love that.
I feel like if you're not at Trees and you're not in Cardiff close to the shop, your like blog and website is so helpful for that as well anyway.
Thank you, man. Well, and actually,
I'm on it a lot. I'm talking, you know, because I visit it. I'm not just saying that. I love the
that.
website.
Thank
which
you, man.
rebranded as well.
Well, yeah. So the creasing thing is, we recorded a podcast a while ago now, and I just went on so much of a tangent. I don't think it actually went out.
I think we all went on a
We did-
tangent
it
because
didn't
it was
go out,
like
yeah.
We had
the
like-
lockdown and stuff like that, and everyone just kind of was like spiraling, man.
Yeah, we had like 2 hours that was probably mostly unusable, but I think that was partly because we had just rebranded, we'd relaunched the website, and I'm so proud of it. And obviously I'm bound to say that, and I'm bound to be like, you should go check out the website, hatw.co.uk. But it genuinely, like, everything that Heads is just trying to be that support that we would have wanted when we were younger, and trying to make something as easy as possible to find as helpful information as possible. Do you know what I mean? So there's a section on there where you can go on and say, currently I am feeling anxious. You can choose how you're feeling, and it'll suggest coping strategies based on what you've chosen. So I'm super duper proud of that. There's some really wicked resources on there as well. We've just launched, there's like a lesson plan for teachers. So if you've got young people who are struggling with body image, there's like a fully planned out lesson plan, resources, there's a presentation. Like, you don't have to, if you're a teacher, we're giving you a free pass. We're giving you 2 hours of like easy access here.
Those days off can actually happen for teachers.
Yeah.
Download.
So so legit, but like I think that our website, I genuinely truly believe that it is a really powerful resource, and I really encourage you to just at least check it out, at least be aware of it, in case anybody you ever know is like, I'm struggling. Because first and foremost, we want to support young people who self-harm, because that's my background, that's where Heads has kind of been born out of, but it's all just useful stuff anyway. It's just useful information that's going to help you. So
it's nice, like, even if you're not dealing with any of the topics on the website, just reading it and being a bit more mindful of those things, it's worth visiting.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. And I didn't have to do that plug as well. That's great. Yeah.
I go on the site often. I like it. I'm speaking from experience, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh man, thank you. Yeah, and yeah. Tell me this then: is it better to have a written blog post or a video post?
I think both. I can chuck a video
I'm
on
biased
while
because I work in SEO, so I'm not saying.
Yeah. Well, the real secret is that like we post the video and then we write out the text underneath as well. So
That's
SEO,
what you
come on Google. Seriously, please give me some tips. Please help me, please.
I was gonna say both because I'll watch it while I'm working.
Yeah.
But then in free time I will read it.
Both is the correct answer.
Sorry, work.
Well, and I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure everyone's thought of it as well. But like, I reckon we could start a podcast. I reckon we'll flip the switch in 6 months' time, and you guys will come and be guests on our podcast.
See,
but I've started really, getting into like, particularly if I'm doing like design work or something. I love having a podcast on in the background, and especially if it's something that I can like learn something from or take something away from as well. So maybe that'll come soon. I don't know.
You kind of touched on it because you had like I'm sure you had a YouTube video of like a round table of a bunch of artists.
Yeah.
One was Lucas, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we had a few folks from the Welsh music industry.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was also like,
they're great videos.
thank you, dude. Yeah, that was a real big effort, but that was entirely made possible by, we've got some friends called they're in a company called Storm and Shelter, and they were like, we'll film this whole thing for you for free, which was like, oh my gosh, this is like a giant undertaking. Thank you so much. They had like so much like gear and like they are like so legit and so helpful. So I'm eternally grateful for them, and like I'm forever like messaging, being like, how do I do this? How do I do a spreadsheet? Or that's a lie. I love spreadsheets. I know all the secrets. My TikTok algorithm keeps giving me like
Microsoft
Excel tips. It's so funny. Yeah, literally. What a sad little life, Jane.
Well, one thing I'm like kicking myself because we didn't say immediately as I clapped and introed you in. How do you summarize Heads Above the Waves for anyone that's not familiar? But by now, I think they'd kind of get the feel of what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, you'll also notice that my voice is like definitely on the way out because I probably said this exact line probably so many times already this weekend. But Heads Above the Waves is a mental health non-profit that supports young people who struggle with their mental health to find healthy, creative, positive coping mechanisms.
Fantastic.
And we do that. We sell merch to start conversations, but that also helps fund our work, which is stuff like we go and do school workshops. We run that website, which has got all those helpful resources on. We've made like resource packs as well that we're sending out to schools for free. So if you're a teacher and you want like a free resource pack on supporting young people with their mental health, send us an email, get in touch via the website. It's hatw.co.uk. And we'll send you a resource pack for free. And that's made possible by people buying merch. So yeah, it's also, if I say so myself, it's very nice merch that you would hopefully want to wear.
I will say I was going to wear mine today, but it's the long sleeve. I'm glad you exist. And I looked outside. I was like, no,
well, so
that can't be one today.
That's the other creasing thing, is that every year that we've done 2,000 trees, which is like I think 5 or 6 we've done now. Every year, whatever we bring is the wrong thing. So like, if we bring raincoats and like thick hoodies and stuff, it's guaranteed to be like blistering sunshine.
Yeah.
If we bring like vests, shorts, caps and stuff, it's guaranteed to just bucket down. So like, whatever we bring is the wrong thing. So So we bought both this year, so that's why the weather has been like
mixed.
So it can't make up its mind at the moment. But
I heard rain tomorrow.
I heard that as well, which is typical because that'll be as we have to then pack the tent down and everything. It's all going to be wet, and then it's going to go in the basement for another year.
You never know. Nothing's guaranteed.
Exactly, nothing's guaranteed. And hey, I'm an optimist. No rain, no flowers, and all that jazz, So
true.
Not to like sway off of Heads Above the Waves, but we owe you a congratulations on being pregnant.
Thank you.
Not you yourself.
It was.
It was like an Arnold Schwarzenegger scenario. That film. The baby.
Yeah. Is Danny DeVito in that as well?
Yeah. Is it called Twins? No, that's not it. Is it? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Like,
I'm not IMDb.
I remember it was like
so
weird.
Right into an Earful podcast with whatever that name of that film is. No, thank you very much. Yeah, this is a big life moment. The creasing thing is, I was telling you guys before as well, we got given the due date. I'm on tour with a band called Novo Amor playing drums, and I fly home from Australia on the day that the baby is due, which is going to be exciting.
You just said you're an optimist, so
I am an
hopefully
optimist.
baby sticks around, is comfortable, and then...
I mean, plus, Australia is already... It's already tomorrow in Australia.
You're saying he's going back in time.
I'm going back in
Yeah.
time. My
that's
wife's
a
going to ring
Pretty
me.
good
Yeah.
flex that I went back in time.
Yeah, back in time for the birth of the child. No worries. My wife's going to ring me, be like, the baby's coming. I'll be like, I'll get on that flight. I'll be there. I'll walk behind her as she's making the phone call. That's how it works. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Until you bump into Biff on the plane on the plane. Up.
Yeah, and he's got the Atlas, the almanac of the sports scores. Oh no. So yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah, no
it's cool, and like it's really nice that we're just at this point where I also play in a band called Junior, and like we're all kind of reaching that point where we're like married and having kids and stuff, which is cool for just like big life moments. Tricky in terms of trying to go on tour and trying to be away for
Yeah.
6 months at a time and stuff, but people have made it work. People do make it work, and yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. That's that meme of the dog in the
Yeah,
house
it's
on fire.
fine.
This
Yeah.
is totally fine. Yeah.
It is like having a baby is that crazy moment, and I realized this recently. That's like the one guaranteed like life-changing moment and experience in your life. Like, yeah, marriages, but you still like, I was living with this person and stuff like that. Whereas, yeah.
Well, and I'm gutted to no longer be able to call myself a dinkwad as well. Have you come across dinkwads?
Do this often? say that often?
Double income, no kids, with a dog. Dinkwad. Yeah, man. So yeah,
Damn,
if
that's
you're
all three of us.
So we're all
yeah,
dinkwads.
there you go. Yeah. So yeah, for I've got like what
Dinkwads,
6 months left of being a dinkwad. And
Do we
then,
give you a retirement party?
yeah, I don't know what happens. Yeah, do you get given like a pen? Yeah, like a fountain pen. Thank you for your service. I don't know.
Just says you're adulting.
Yeah. Yeah. You are now a grown up in like Comic Sans on the cake. Yeah.
With a full stop at the end.
Yeah.
So what does that make you then? After that, would it be a dink walk
Dinkwad.
with a kid and a dog?
Oh no, so double income with kids, Duke with a dog.
Dukwad.
Dukwad, yeah.
Duke what?
That sounds like a cross between the bad guy in Shrek
Yeah, I was thinking that large bar.
and the bad guy in Star Wars Episode 2. Which is the crossover I think I think it's everybody here when I say that should happen.
That's the demographic here. It's not just
That's
for Heads Above
specifically
the
our
Waves,
target
yeah.
audience is that era.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I came and spoke to you guys as well was with Junior. We were in Manchester, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And COVID was like just a twinkle in our eye at that point.
Yeah,
It was something that was happening on the other side of the world, and we were like, I wonder what will happen. We'll listen back to this podcast, and I wonder what will happen. So it turned out didn't go well.
We might have jinxed it.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. But again, actually, interestingly, that time gave us loads of time to work on stuff like rebranding the Heads website.
Yeah.
See how I bring it back around? You
Swing
see.
it around.
He's a professional.
He's media trained. But yeah, it gave us time to like work on the website, develop loads of new resources and stuff as well, which has been awesome. So yeah, well excited.
I should, while we're at 2,000 Trees, is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing?
Well,
So this is the caveat with working the festival.
yeah,
isn't it?
this is the tricky bit. So there's the Wonder Years were my like, I don't care if we have to close for an hour, we're seeing the Wonder Years.
Nice.
So we did. Luckily, one of our volunteers is like, I just don't really care about the music. She's like, I'm perfectly happy to be here. I'll read a book if no one's around. And I'm kind of
nice.
like, that's cool. I'll take that. But yeah, Wonder Years were my like number one. The thing is, the only other things that I'm going to go and see are basically just like friends. So it's like Casey, it's Holding Absence, it's Loathe, it's Raptor. I'm actually missing Raptors to do this. Sorry, Raptors.
So away if it helps.
Yeah. Sorry. To be fair, that's probably what we can hear in the background, though, right? So
Yeah.
we're kind of hearing it. But yeah, so it's and again, I was kind of saying before we got started as well. It's really cool to know people, and not like in a like a arrogantly like
Not flexing.
we're in
kind of way,
we're in
yeah.
the clique here, but just in like it's really cool that like our friends are now the ones doing it. Do you know what I mean? And like we've all come to these festivals for years, and like we're now at a point where like because I remember going to Heavy Festival years ago. I mean, probably 2011. We're probably talking. Which was, did you ever go to Heavy Festival?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was sick. It was just loads of heavy bands in Port Lympney, I think it was, but it was like next door to a zoo, and so your a zoo and wildlife park thing. So your ticket to the festival got you access to the zoo as well, but the zoo was still open to the general public. Sick. I also just became very aware that I'm doing this thing with my hand, like, you know those things where Eminem is like, I went to the zoo and I had to take a poo in the zoo with Dr. Seuss. So you got access to the zoo with your ticket, but it was still open to the general public. And so like there'd be like families just on a nice day out, and there'd be all these metalheads just like descending on it, like, not having washed for like 3 days, just being like, look at that tiger.
Are they an animal or are you viewing them?
Yeah. Well, and you know, as problematic as zoos are, but anyway, it was really fun. Yeah. But the point was, I remember going to those festivals and like seeing stores of like clothing brands and companies and just people doing it, and I was like, that's so cool, and being like, they are legit. They've made it. They're like proper.
Yeah.
And like I have to sometimes take a step back and be like, well, hang on, we're actually quite proper now. We're the ones doing it. And then like friends are playing. I mean, Holding Absence are doing main stage, like
doing 2 sets this weekend. They did Wednesday.
Yes, they did one in the Forest
Festival.
stage the other night. We watched that, and it was there was too many people there for their set, which is like, again, like what a sick thing for them, and just so cool to like to realize that we're the generation now, we're the grown-ups, and we're the ones doing stuff is really cool, man. It's really cool,
which is important to do. About to do a side classic, I'm going to call it, and bring it back around. Like, to take a step back and see how far you've come is something that not a lot of people do, and getting to do that, you should really appreciate that moment.
And you know, sometimes you literally can't see the wood for the trees, the 2,000 trees. Sometimes you can't see the wood for the 2,000 trees. You got it.
First
in there.
pun of the festival for us.
Thank you. But yeah, sometimes it's like you kind of get real caught up in just like, oh, I'm slogging away and I'm trying to do what I can, and then actually when you do step back and you realize, even if it's just I'm not in the absolute pits of depression that I was in a few years ago, or even if it's like I handled something a little bit better than I did, or I would have done when I was younger or whatever.
Improvement or change.
Exactly. Those little things are actually like, it's so important to look at those and like reward yourself as well. And that's like, this is something, I mean, God bless my parents, man. This is something that they instilled in me at a really young age. We used to have this box that was like the homework box, and it had like all the pencils and stuff you'd need to do homework with, but it also had a Kit Kat in there every day. And once you'd done your homework, you got to eat the Kit Kat. And it was like this real kind of sense of a treat and a sense of accomplishment. And like, I think we need more of that in the world, where it's like, whether it is like, I don't know, I've got through a tough time, or I've done something, and it doesn't have to be, if you want to spend money, if that's your thing, like, maybe treat yourself to, I don't know, a nice coffee, treat yourself to a Heads Above the Waves t-shirt. See, we knew it. But it doesn't have to be spending money. It can be like, I'm actually just going to have a nice bubble bath now, and just like treating yourself to those little rewards for doing something and feeling like you've accomplished just the smallest steps, you know what I mean? And again, some days it's literally, it's waking up and it's getting out of bed, and it's like going outside, it's having a shower and getting dressed is actually, if that's a step forward for you, that's worth celebrating. That's huge, and that's worth acknowledging and giving yourself some credit for as well, because we live in a world where it's so easy to compare yourself to everybody else. And again, you know, weird backstory is, I remember being on tour in America on a tour bus with Novo Amor, literally living my dream, literally doing the thing that I've wanted to do for my whole life, going on Instagram, looking at Holding Absence doing shows and being like, oh man, I wish our shows looked like that. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second, that's so crazy that I'm in this incredibly blessed position, and I'm still like comparing myself and being like,
that's the dangerous thing about social media, though.
It's an easy, like, straight to that sort of comparison, isn't it?
And I've been in that position like many times. Like, I got rid of Facebook because I was just sitting there. I had to just get rid of it because I was just sick of seeing like stuff on that. I tried to just take a step back away from it, but it's like, it's even like you take stuff for granted, just like, for example, like nature on your doorstep. So like going camping, I went camping a few months ago, just like getting out of the city, getting off social media, having no signal there at all, and just spending 4 days in like the wilderness, you know what I mean, next to a river or whatever, just doing all that sort of stuff, just sitting there not looking at my phone, and like you'd be surprised though, like honestly my head was like, it was clear because like there was none of that just fogging it up, but as soon as you go back, it's like back there again. You take it all for granted, that you don't realise what you've got on your doorstep sometimes.
Legit, and I think particularly here in the UK as well, like the furthest place away is like 10 hours, mate. Like, well, obviously we're talking like real extremes, but like you can get from one end of the country to the other in like 10 hours, and so you can go to mountains, you can go to ocean, you can go to like pretty much everything in between. Yeah, maybe not deserts, but like, do you know what I mean? You can get out into some form of nature, and legit, there's so much research and so many studies that say like being in nature, whether that is like some people, there's a group called Running Punks. Running Punks. They did a talk on the word stage here the other day, and a few of them have come by and chat with us, and they're like, that's sick, because again, it's like, it's just getting out in nature, and it's exercise and it's running around, and if that's not for you, you don't have to do like that extreme. You can literally, like you said, go camping, just go and sit with your feet in a stream or something, and like the thing with everything, and maybe this is the hill that I'll die on, and maybe this is, if you need me to wrap it up, this is a good point to do it on, is with everything, whether that's going camping, whether it's like playing drums for me, or playing video games, but like whatever that you do, whatever action you do, the mindset that you do it with almost has more of an impact. So if you're like, I'm being told I got to go camping, or like I'm being dragged along by my missus to go do this or whatever, like it's not gonna be helpful for your mental health. And in the same way, when someone says like, have you tried having a bath to help with your mental health, like it's not necessarily going to fix your problems, but actually if you go, well, do you know what, I am actually going to have a bath, I'm going to switch off from social media, I'm actually going to like make a nice little mood in here, I'm going to light some candles, or I'm going to, I've treated myself to a nice bath bomb or something like this, like, which again, you don't have to spend money for it, but like if you make that time and you make that space within your brain and actively tell yourself, I'm doing this to take care of myself, it's going to have way more of an impact than if you just have a bath or you just go for a walk. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
positive mental attitude.
Well, legit, right? And sometimes, I'm well aware that I'm in like quite a privileged position where I've gone through some real low points, and I'm in quite a relatively good position now to sit back and look back on it retrospectively. But it's also like, it's so easy when you're in the thick of it, like I said, for someone to say, go have a bath, go for a walk in nature, and it'd just be like, how is that going to help me?
So it feels so out of left field for someone that's in that headspace, doesn't it?
I always think though that with stuff where like when it's the lowest of the lows, that sort of has to equate for when you have like highs, like that you have to like see that sort of difference between it to be like, oh, look how far I've come, and
it's like a karma sort of outlook, isn't it? Like the good and the bad and the good.
Well, and as it goes, we've actually got a Heads Above the Waves t-shirt at the moment. It's a Welsh expression that don't ask me to pronounce it, but it translates to, without the cold of summer you wouldn't without the cold of winter you wouldn't know the heat of summer.
Ooh, I like that.
And I think that's the thing, right? You like those low times absolutely suck, but actually they can serve as a reminder that like there are good times, and like actually like take those little moments that we have of like pure joy, whether that's being at a festival and watching your favorite band, whether that's just doing something that you love, eating something you love. Like I love coffee, and like I queued up for like 20 minutes and paid way too much for a flat white this morning, because that's my little. Though? It was good. It was worth it. And I've done it every single morning. I will do it tomorrow as well. Because I don't really drink, and like I'd rather have like a really nice coffee and like
same.
enjoy that rather than just get smashed on warm cider. But that's the thing. So I'm being mindful that we got to wrap it up now, but we've got one. I want to ask you a bit of a side note. Were you Pavlovian conditioned whenever you finish homework? Do you start like craving a Kit Kat? You like finish a spreadsheet and go, oh, I'd like a Kit Kat. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
That might happen.
Well, funnily enough, food is like, it's such a funny thing. Like, people have got such weird relationships with food, where some people, for me, it's like it was always a treat thing. Like, you'd go and get McDonald's, or you'd go and get chips if it was like, there's a nice little pick-me-up or a nice little reward. And some people really struggle with food, so that's not necessarily always the right answer of like, a thing. But yeah, for me, a little bit. So yeah, I'm a little bit kind of like, I've done a good job. I'm going to get a bar of chocolate. Yeah.
Adult sigh and like heads above the waves, finish the spreadsheet, be like,
just start drooling. Yeah.
And lastly, what was the first album you ever bought?
Do you want the cool answer or the actual answer?
The actual answer.
The real,
Both.
the OG answer.
Both.
The first album I ever bought was probably Running with Scissors by Weird Al Yankovic.
Nice.
Oh my god.
That's definitely the first one that I remember.
Yeah.
The cool answer is Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
That is
That's
a cool answer.
Yeah.
I definitely remember going and buying a Hybrid Theory, but I think it was Weird Al Yankovic, Running with Scissors, which is a great record. I still and genuinely actually Weird Al is something that I will actively put on now if I'm in a bad headspace.
Yeah, I don't think you could be down listening to Weird Al.
Like sometimes you just got to be a little bit goofy and just kind of have a little bit of a laugh at yourself. And
Did you see the film?
No, I still haven't.
Daniel, it's good.
Daniel Radcliffe.
It was the full thing. I've not seen it properly.
Yeah, it's good.
I will. Yeah, I will watch it because it's right on my street. So yeah.
I love it. Right. Thank you so much. We're going to lay you back to the tent and spread the good word of
it's a
Heads
pleasure.
Above the Waves.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
No,
What
anytime.
a treat. And enjoy the rest of your time here as well. I
thank
hope
you
you
so
actually
much.
get to watch some bands as well. And
That's not going to happen. We know it.
Yeah. Is someone playing Van Halen in the
Yeah,
background?
Eruption solo.
I hope that makes it into the pot. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no
it's
problem.
hatw.co.uk, Heads Above the Waves on all the social media. Apart from Twitter, which is HATW_UK, because someone else had taken HATW. And now Elon won't let me have a 4-letter. I can't have HATW anymore because you can't have a 4-letter Twitter handle anymore. Thanks, Elon.
It's dying. It's
Bye.
okay.
Bye.